I'm Mircea Geoană. I'm the president and founder of the Aspen Institute Romania, and this is my home. This is where I was formed as a very young diplomat, and my heart and my emotional intelligence, as much as it is, will always be with the Romanian Foreign Ministry and to the old generations of Romanian diplomats. Also, my respects to all the people wearing uniform. Mr. Minister, thank you so much for being here. And also to all the ones who have made Romania's journey from dictatorship to freedom and from a bloc to a system of alliances possible. So I'm so very happy to be here. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, thank you for hosting us. And Minister Tsoyu and of course Anna Tinka, she will say a few words just after that. Thank you so much for being here. We started the Aspen Strategy Forum 2025 yesterday with something that the Aspen Institutes around the world are very proud of, with a leadership seminar offered to young professionals from all walks of life interested in national security and defense from 8 different nations. We saw yesterday the ones who were together with them, and I would like to thank also Florentina Dumitru and Radu Puchiu, the co-moderators. Florentina, she's also the director of the new Aspen Institute Romania Brussels office and European hub. And you'll be hearing much more from us, also from Brussels and also from Chișinău, where we have another office. We also had the first new edition of the Aspen Strategy Group. Our ambition is to unite the 8 Aspen Institutes in Europe. Some of them are here on the screen, contributed to this program. Of course, the mothership from Aspen US, but also Aspen Kiev, Aspen Prague. I welcome our colleagues present here, Aspen France, Aspen Italy. We are 8 in Europe, also in Spain, also in the UK, also in Germany. So this is the first time when we do things structurally together, and we're very proud of being doing it. I would like to thank also the foreign dignitaries visiting for this occasion, ministers from Italy and Czechia, and many other professionals and top things. So let me take a few words just setting the stage for this dense, interesting day. It's an understatement to say that we are living the most transformative times probably in human history, because great power competition we had before. Our Roman Empire, our ancestors, great powers and regional powers competition, this is nothing new under the sun. This will continue as long as our human species will be still around, and this is nothing new. It's always a matter of time before history unravels. And the illusion that we will be living an eternal peace and harmony in the world was just an illusion. It's competition. And what we're seeing interesting today, like, my former job at NATO, you have a compass there with 4 directions. And I think we can put, for visual metaphor only, to the east, you put the economy, because that's always important. You put to the west security, which is also for Romania, has a deeper sense than just the cardinal point. You can put up north technology, because it's moving aggressively and profoundly, and this is the unique feature in human history. In fact, we are, as we speak, already in the 5th industrial revolution. And it's not only triggered by AI, but it's triggered by almost everything which is accelerating, from biotech to human augmentation and genomics, from space exploration and colonization, this is coming pretty soon, new materials outside of the Mendeleev table, and I continue. And by the way, speaking of global competition, out of the 64, I see Dragoș Bana, my former colleague from NATO, he's doing a great job there too. Yeah, Dragoș, welcome. And I think Liviu and other colleagues that are working now with NATO or the EU. I think from the list of 64 transformative new technologies, China is leading in 57 out of 64. And in 24, they have basically a quasi-monopoly, including, of course, on rare earth and materials. So technology is something that is profoundly changing, and I think underestimating the social impact, the political and economic impact, ideological impact of technologies, I think we are underestimating the complexity of the times we live. And of course, to the south, I put society, so economy, security, technology, and society, because in the end, we are human beings. We have elections, we have politics, we have public opinions. We have a Molotov cocktail of frustrations in our societies, and they express differently, but they're basically fueled by the same ingredients. Social discontent, concern of new things, social polarization, inequities, which will be probably exacerbated by technology. So this is one of the most transformative times in human history. And of course, we are seeing, like always, some hyperpowers, superpowers, the US and China. Europe, that I think for us as Europeans, this will be probably the defining years of how we'll be looking like, how influential we'll be, how much gravitas we'll still have, and how much clout globally we'll still have. And prevailing in Ukraine and helping Ukraine stand and be part of our family will be probably the litmus test on how and where Europe will be in the next decades. You've seen the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It was a very visual metaphor. But also, and this is the point also of our conference here, in times when we have two blocs competing for, it's a systemic, socio-economic, technological, and military competition for global dominance. That's what we have in strategic terms as we speak. And this will stay on for many decades. And in this period of arch competition for global dominance, on technology, on ideas, on how to organize human societies, economic model, what type of capitalism, we see a revival of industrial policy and instruments of statecraft. But we'll be seeing a spectrum in this arch competition for global dominance that will vary from cooperation, we'll have cooperation, including with China. We'll feel cross competition, which is a natural state of affairs. We have a new dimension, which is permanent confrontation. I will be discussing today in many of the panels what is in fact happening. We call it under the thresholds of Article 5 in NATO jargon. And we've seen the incursions in Poland and Romania. It's basically a permanent asymmetric warfare, raging day in and day out, second by second, on cyber, on critical infrastructure, on cognitive warfare. We call it information disinformation. We have a program at Aspen. In fact, it's cognitive warfare. And I'm happy that our Swedish colleagues will be here because they have a specialized agency dealing with these kind of things. And not afraid to call it what it is. And of course, we'll have crisis and conflict, things that we are here to talk about. So this is a world where the pendulum is swinging, trying to find a new balance. But the point of and Dennis Poldovets from Aspen Center Europe and others, we're discussing yesterday at the Aspen Strategy Group that in times where you have arch competition between big players, and America's relationship to Europe is vital for us and for them. It's a two-way street. You cannot compete with China without having allies and friends all over the world, which is a huge thing that America has. And the others will probably have more difficulties to build such a similar alliance. This is something that probably will be debated during our conversations. I think Europe needs to be stronger. I believe the risk of decoupling between the US and Europe is now behind us. It was a very delicate moment. Now I think we are entering a phase of rebalancing of this relationship, and there is an intense conversation and negotiations, and our friends from the EU know that well, and our good friend Maroš Šefčovič, who is the Vice President of the Commission and also running trade and economic security, was very much part of this conversation. So we are today talking to our American friends and allies, and they will always be our friends and allies. a rebalancing of the deal. We have to be stronger, we have to invest more. It's not easy politically, including in our country, in my country, in Romania. It's not easy to have a negotiation about spending more on defense when we have so many other priorities and so many macroeconomic constraints. It's not an easy political operation. That's why we're here to say that we support the leadership of this country, of any country that would like to really go in the right direction. So, in this arch competition, there will be a disproportionately important role for middle powers. Some of them are hedging between the two blocs. Saudi Arabia goes to the BRICS and also is investing heavily in preparing a special relationship and a treaty, a security treaty with the US. Middle East is still complicated, but this is interesting to see how middle powers, India, which I personally believe will be pretty soon one of the key global players. And I remember a very young diplomat, I was attending a conference, I think in Bali, for the non-alignment movement. It was wow, it was in prehistory. In India, and former Yugoslavia, by the way, they were the leaders of the non-aligned movement. They will always be strategically autonomous, the Indians. They will never come our way or the other way. And I can go on with regional players. And I believe that countries in our part of Europe, Romania included, we could play an even bigger role. Because when the tectonic plates of geopolitics are realigning, with Ukraine being such a hot topic for all of us, I think for Romania, and this is something I say it from the bottom of my heart as somebody who has been raised in this building and formed as a leader in this building, is that we shouldn't rely that our geography would always carry us forward. That the strategic value of every square inch of this country, from Mihail Kogălnicianu all the way to Cincu, and from Mangalia all the way to Bukovina or wherever, will carry us forward. We have to work, we have to be creative, we have to be inventive. Things are changing. Regional formats are changing, my friends. I don't want to get into any conversation, but it's clear that in the Visegrad group, there is realignment. I was very, very, very happy to see, including the new president of Romania, Mr. Nicușor Dan, going in Vilnius for a Bucharest 9 plus Nordic meeting. I felt that something new was in the making. The 3 Cs initiative, it's in fact 4 Cs, because we have Finland and Sweden joining, together with Norway already in NATO. So that's a lot of dynamism. And I believe that in any of the future formats of the regional cooperation that we need to reinvent and be creative, and hope today we'll do that, we need to have Ukraine by all means. And also for our Ukrainian friends, just looking into joining EU and having security guarantees, let's say Article 5 that I hope will be part of a solution for this bloody conflict, that just looking into the EU accession is not enough. You have to be anchored, and we should anchor you. You see the E3, UK, France, and Germany becoming a new Weimar Plus is still fluid. That's an invitation for Romania and our region to play, to be creative, because this is the time when you can really think strategically in terms of value, or you just be amplified in your influence, in your economic prosperity, in your investments, in your technological future, that much. This program and these events in Bucharest yesterday and today, the leadership program, the conference today, have been supported by a global fund. It was a donation from late Leonard Lauda, who for us in Aspen, Romania, is a sort of a co-founder of our institute. He was the chair of the international committee in Aspen when we started 20 years back. Next year we'll have 20 years of Aspen in Romania. And Mike Bezos. We'll be continuing this with meetings, similar meetings in Prague and Kiev, and also something in the fall in Brussels. And this is a format where the Aspen Institutes in Europe and around the world are joining forces and trying to bring some super smart people like yourselves in a very serious conversation that I hope and I know will be not just a conversation, but also some actionable items that will be making our region, making our Europe, making our world less unstable in this pendulum swinging from economy to security and from technology to society. So thank you so much, very much for being here. To the ones who are supporting, to the sponsors of the event, to the organizers, to the wonderful Aspen team and our collaborators that have been working so hard to make this event, I know, will be a success. And of course, because I'm here in my original home, professional home and emotional home, the Foreign Ministry of Romania, it's my pleasure to invite State Secretary Ana Tinca to say a few words. And then, of course, Minister Moșteanu will be the keynote speaker for this morning's sessions. Thank you so much. Welcome.